There you go. Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Wow. Literally,
Cheerios.
good morning. Cheers.
Cheerios.
This may be the one and only actual morning
Yeah,
version of this show. We'll see.
I know.
We'll see.
We'll see how it pans out.
But so far, well worth it.
Yep, definitely.
I didn't sleep at all last night.
No, I'm really
I
tired.
don't know why. I guess I was just so excited for this morning show.
We couldn't sleep because of the excitement.
Yeah. But we have our morning coffee.
Yes, we do.
So we swapped out the martinis for coffee.
Yes. Yeah, we
And,
couldn't have martinis.
Sponsored by Gratuitous. This is our Gratuitous coffee, straight from Guatemala. We're actually headed down there next week.
Next
right?
week, yeah, next Friday. We're gonna head out and attempt this idea.
Yeah, we made arrangements with the farm. We've been talking to them for a couple of weeks now. Very nice people.
Awesome people, yeah.
We don't have to tell the whole story again, but we met them through another friend. But they seem like they actually understand what we're trying to do. We're going to go down there. We're going to teach the farmers all about Monero, cryptocurrency, and in particular Monero. And then we're thinking one of the things we want to do is we want to provide them with, we were saying like a packet, right? Or
Yeah, a box. Yeah, an information box.
So anybody that's out there that wants to help us with this idea, right? You were saying you need a little help.
Maybe, yeah, we need a little help with this idea. Definitely reach out to us.
Yeah, what kind of skills are we looking for? People that can do what? Graphic skills?
Yeah, like basic graphic skills, like, little, like we want to make a flyer for them, right, to inform them. We're going to do it in English, so we have, and then also in Spanish, because obviously we're going to Guatemala. So if anyone's interested in just helping us out, with just like basic graphic skills, really, and writing up, and we'll speak with them one-on-one, so they have an idea exactly what we want, and we'll be working with them.
Can people hear me well? I feel like I'm not fully mic'd up here.
Oh, is it even on?
Well, hopefully I was talking loud enough to be heard.
Oh, yeah.
Is anybody viewing live right now?
Yep, we have 8.
Okay.
Did you guys
Were
hear
you guys
Doug?
able to hear me? I know I'm always too loud,
on.
so maybe it was actually perfect.
I was on. I think you guys heard me, hopefully.
But yeah, bottom line, Gratuitous. We're kicking it off.
Sound is on, but it was quiet, they said.
It was quiet? Yeah. All right, so...
All right, take 2.
Take 2.
Good morning, everyone.
We'll be going down there next week to Guatemala, and it's going to be awesome. Farm is fully on board. We don't know exactly what we're getting into down there, but we're going to be providing all the farmers private keys. We came up with a good method, I think, for how we're going to do it. We're going to have the funds get sent to one person who will be in charge of the private key, who will then divvy it out to everybody else. So kind of like you have a restaurant, you have the head waiter that collects all the tips at the end of the night, goes into the tip jar, and then divvies it out to everybody that was working that evening. And then we're thinking maybe we give all the other farmers view keys so they can see the wallet, and so that, to kind of keep an eye on the guy who's supposed to be divvying out the tips. So we think that might be a good way to do it, as opposed to having it where every farmer would have their own.
Yeah, I think that's a better way
individual
to
tip address. So these are details, but
we were asking if anyone's
anybody that wants to help us out. So we're looking for people that can help put the package together that we're essentially going to give to the farmers. So we're going to spend, a week down there. We want to spend like a full day just teaching them how to use Monero, what Monero is all about. It'd be great if we can provide them, some materials when we walk away that they'll have that will really show them how, what this is all about. So if anybody wants to reach out to us that thinks they can help us put that together, maybe some simple graphics.
Yeah, simple graphics.
That can explain Monero in very simple
like a simple
terms.
Flyer. Yeah, exactly. We're looking for a simple flyer.
In Spanish. Preferably a Spanish speaker.
Yeah, Spanish speaker. If not, we can do it in English, and then I can...
Anybody that lives in Guatemala, reach out to us.
Definitely reach out to us.
That would be amazing.
monerotalklive@gmail.com. I'll put it in the chat, too.
And anybody that drinks coffee, please come, try some of our coffee. We had a few sales. We want to really get this booming. I know most people I know drink coffee. So if you're a coffee drinker and you're into Monero, it's a no-brainer. It's really good coffee. We ship it fresh, straight from Guatemala, and we're gonna keep this thing going.
Yep.
So let's get into the show here.
We have our special
our
guest.
special guest.
Special guest.
She's so special that we woke up early for her.
And it will be worth it.
Nam, how's it going?
I know. Oh wait, you're muted now. So try to unmute yourself. You're muted.
Can you unmute her?
I can't unmute her. She has to do it on her end.
Okay, here.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Hi guys. Good morning.
Good morning or good afternoon.
And good afternoon here. Yeah.
Where?
Thanks for doing this so early.
Yeah, thanks for making us do this.
Yeah.
This is better than drinking cocktails. This is way more productive.
Yep.
Where are you calling in from?
Get you guys up. So I'm in Muscat, Oman, in the Middle East. So on the Arabian Peninsula.
Amazing.
It's a tiny little country. It's near Saudi Arabia and UAE.
I've never been to that part of the world. Have you?
Well, I've been to India.
Well, India, but yeah, not really
Middle East.
Yeah.
No, actually.
So, is there a crypto scene over there? What's the local crypto scene like?
Like zero, nothing. No, none. Like not at all. So. In real life, I work in the financial industry, and in real life, I know of one person, which is actually a group of people. There's two, I think. It's two people that started a Bitcoin fund about 3 years ago, and they were raising funds to invest in Bitcoin. I think it was a Bitcoin only fund. That was years ago that they set up. And beyond that, I don't know of anything that's happened here locally in crypto at all. And I mean, I'm relatively new as well, so but in real life, I don't have a lot of people that I come across that invest in this, except a couple of friends who I've introduced to crypto myself. But other than that, no.
And what's your crypto story? How'd you get into Monero? You're becoming well known, I feel like, in the Monero community. I see you all over Twitter.
I guess I'm just all over Twitter, lately. Monero. So I mean, this goes back, right? This goes years back when my older son was born in 2012. He became affected, since he was born, he started to have seizures and neurological issues. And I think at that time, I was naive. I just kind of did what I was told, from the medical advice that I was getting, or we were getting as a family. And I think slowly, after a while, like a year or so later, I just kept digging into it, and I did a lot of research on my own, and I kind of got to a point where I was drawing a link between what happened to him with the vaccines that he'd received, right, at birth and all of that. So that was when I started kind of going down this rabbit hole and discovering this other dark side of the world I didn't even know existed. And I was more and more convinced that is what led to his situation. So he's still not able to walk. He's 8 years old, and he lives with my mom in India. And so we've struggled, it's been a real struggle. And over this time, I think I've just kind of I've gone from this naive mainstream news person who used to watch all kinds of mainstream to who I've become, I think, over time. And I kind of look deeper into what's going on and what are the interests, try and follow the money. So that led me to, when the coronavirus began last year, that I was really disturbed, because I'd seen interviews and I'd seen information back then in 2013, and then until now. So let me just go back. So from 2013 till now, I've kind of been absorbed by my life. I kind of just got into the grind, and I was busy. I was just working and with my little kids. But when the coronavirus began, I started looking into that stuff again. And somehow, going through the rabbit hole, I discovered the Dollar Vigilante, Jeff Berwick show. And I kind of identified with a lot of the stuff that, he was talking about. And and then I eventually signed up for the Crypto Vigilante and all of that through Rafael Laverde and that whole team. And I discovered Monero that way. But my concern when I was kind of, when I was at the start of the coronavirus, my concern was that we all need a currency that helps those who want to, sort of be independent and live independent lives, a little bit detached from all of the surveillance capitalism that we're seeing right now. And kind of that pulls me towards Monero a lot more than, and my analysis of both of those currencies, Bitcoin and Monero, has happened sort of side by side. So, and I think I feel more pulled towards Monero for those reasons.
Well, your tweets are spot on. You send out a lot of really good stuff that's right to the point. So it seems like you obviously understand this stuff. It's awesome that you're out there helping get the message out, as opposed to just a lot of anonymous, behind the scenes crypto nerds. It's nice to have real faces out there that are out there talking about Monero. I
feel the same way.
Same approach. I think it's important, right? There's obviously it's technology that's used for privacy and used for protecting people's liberty, but that doesn't mean, we can't be proud to use it. There's absolutely no shame in using this liberating technology.
I completely agree with that. And I like seeing real faces in the Monero community because, and I'm putting myself out there as well, because, it's generally people that are hiding, and I understand why they do that. They're probably living in countries and jurisdictions that are encroaching on, on their liberties, and they don't want to expose themselves. In my case, I'm detached from all that. So obviously I don't live in the US. I don't have an American passport. So my passport is my country. Like, I have an Indian passport. I think the Indian government doesn't even care that I exist. And I'm not even an Indian resident. I'm an NRI, that's a non-resident Indian. So my status is such that I could just literally be anywhere in the world and do my own thing. As long as I'm in a tax-free jurisdiction, I don't owe anybody. Like here, for example, there's no, it's a tax-free jurisdiction, and I grew up here. My dad moved here in the 70s. So in that sense, I'm a bit sheltered. I think it makes me feel a little more free to voice my opinion, because I'm not directly like engaged with any government or any entity or institution directly. I can just comment, from a distance. So I think that helps me be a little, put myself out there.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. You're on your own little island of Monerotopia.
Dream come true.
Yeah.
So we have 20 people watching. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I know.
For this morning edition.
I know.
I wonder where people are watching from. And
as they're
let
slowly
us know,
waking
guys.
up, the number is slowly growing.
Anybody that's watching, this is meant to be a fun show, not as serious as Monero Talk. So anybody that wants to, and interactive, so, comment please as much as you can, and join us on the Jitsi. You want to put out the Jitsi link?
Yeah, sure.
So anybody that wants to come on stage, talk, tell us your Monero story, tell us what's going on. Please come on down. We got a great crowd this morning that's already on stage. Monerotopia is the land of beautiful brunettes, apparently. I don't know how this happened. We're doing something right now, Monerotopia.
Okay.
So you were mentioning the coffee, right?
Yes.
I spoke with someone recently. They reached out to me on Telegram, and it's an account I found online. He said, follow me on Twitter, and they're called El Monero. And he actually does a Monero podcast in Spanish. And I think through him, I followed some other accounts, and they're pretty active actually. From their Spanish, I recognize they're in South America, and they're probably going to be able to help out with these flyers and things that you want to get started.
Awesome. Yeah.
But
See, I think they're commenting too, right? Is that?
think
Oh no, that
that's
was you
something-
commenting
yeah, that was
on
her.
it. Oh, awesome. Yeah, we should.
Reach out to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or guys, if you hear us, reach out to us. Yeah, they'd be perfect.
I think I spoke to him on Telegram. Yeah, I know who you're talking about, so maybe I'll reach out to him. And
We'll
see.
probably do an episode down there too. I'm sure Monerotopia with some of the people down there, some of the farmers and the people running the farm. That'd be cool.
Maybe we could do like a live stream
Yeah,
or something
do a live
on
stream.
Instagram or something like that.
Awesome.
Get people going on there.
One of the things. Hey, we got somebody on. All right. Who's
We have
this?
a fellow Monerista. How's it going?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. we
Good
can.
morning. Or good
Very
afternoon.
nice.
Where you?
Yeah, it's from Europe, so it's afternoon here. Was very eager to join, since usually it's outside of the time that I can join. But yeah, I saw that you guys were on, and I thought I might join. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for coming on. So, what's your Monero story?
Yeah, I mean, originally I was kind of into Bitcoin. I think my first contact with it was when I was in correspondence with a malware developer. Kind of shady there, but he showed me a ransomware that he did, and he showed me that people they just sent the bitcoins there, and I thought, okay, that's weird. That kind of nobody is blocking that. And over time, I also got interested in like these darknet markets, because the idea of them is like very, very fascinating to me, because you have this very let's say adversarial environment, where you have like the law enforcement trying to shut everything down, but they still persist, and if one market shuts down, the next one pops up. And I think over time, with especially when I started using Bitcoin, actually, I got more into Monero, since I mean, if you actually start using it and you pay someone with it, you notice, oh, wait a minute, they can see now my outputs, my balance, everything. So it's kind of a slow shift into Monero, but over time you get into it.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. People aren't going to really fully understand Monero until people start actually using crypto. And nobody really uses Bitcoin. I mean, nobody's using Bitcoin. They're buying it, they're speculating on it, they're holding it. But very few people are actually sending it around, transacting it, and using it in commerce. And I don't think it's until people do that that their eyes will start to open to the fact that, you know, every transaction can be traced, and people can see their wallet when they go to use the currency. So yeah, very, very good points. So are you still a Bitcoin person as well? Have you completely come onto the dark side?
I would say I'm rather a dark sider now. I mean, kind of the original idea or the vision that I saw in Bitcoin that excited me about Bitcoin, I kind of see that continued with Monero, and not really so much with Bitcoin. Especially since I've been learning about its flaws over time. I've just been getting more and more into Monero. So yeah.
Whereabout are you in Europe?
Central Europe.
Okay. Is there a decent Monero scene over there? I know we see pictures on Reddit a lot in Germany of Monero stickers on the streets.
Yeah, I
like
haven't actually seen any stickers here around. But yeah, I mean, there's not really a scene here, but maybe I'm just missing it.
So,
who knows?
You need to start sticking them yourself. Sovereign Street Art.
Yes, of course.
Send me a DM on Twitter. I'll put you in touch.
Okay, sure.
That's a good way to
I like that. Getting the job
I know.
done.
No, that's good. It sounds like you're in Belgium or like northern France or something, but that's fine. You don't need to confirm.
Yeah. I mean, I have a sort of an accent, but not Belgian. No.
We won't pinpoint your
Mhm.
location.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
What do we have? We were gonna check the Reddit, so we didn't even check this morning's news today. Anything big happening in Monero, guys? What's the biggest Reddit post? I haven't even looked.
Yeah.
I don't even know the Reddit. I'm just starting to get into Reddit, but I've seen and I've been tweeting about this Michael Saylor comment that Roger Ver put out, or like his little talk where he's talking about how the fiat system is not ever going to go away. Let's not even go close to the dollar and the euro. I'm like, we're never going to transact in Bitcoin. It's a store of value, and you just see him talking about the trillions and the size of the store of value market. But basically, he's like, there's going to be KYC, there's this and there's that, and all of this stuff. And I've been the last few days I've been tweeting about that, saying, look, that's not what a cryptocurrency is. So,
Are you getting?
and that's not what.
Are you getting a lot of response on Twitter from Bitcoiners?
Actually, a lot of Bitcoiners follow me, and they're listening to what I'm saying, and a lot of them ask questions. Many of them interact in a nice way, and I've had so many constructive discussions with people online. I learn from them, they learn from me, and we learn from each other. And I think this is helping people see that Bitcoin's kind of being driven in a direction that might be okay for people. You're looking to preserve your wealth out of a sort of like a melting ice cube, which is fiat, which is constantly being devalued, debased. So to protect yourself from fiat debasement, go into Bitcoin as a store of value, and that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. But beyond that, there's the functionality. I don't see that being played out. Lightning Labs and the Taproot and the Schnorr research that's going on, that's supposed to bring in privacy to Bitcoin and all that. The layer 2 development work that's going on. I kind of don't see that going far because it's just not satisfactory to the level that we're already used to in Monero. If Monero didn't exist, that would be a different story, right? But like you said earlier, all transactions, when it actually comes to cryptocurrency transactions, they're happening in Monero today. It's not a lot of Bitcoin being moved around as a medium of exchange.
Yeah, I think that's a big story in and of itself. Just the transaction volume of Monero keeps trending up. I guess obviously we don't know if some of that's spam, but it seems to be pretty organic and growing pretty steadily. It's at an all-time high. So you said you worked in traditional finance, right?
Yeah.
Do you talk to people in that world about crypto? Do you talk to them about Monero? So I mean, we hear, like you said, you brought up Michael Saylor. Obviously, he's like the Bitcoin guy right now. He really represents Bitcoin mainstream. Do you talk to people in traditional finance, and are they, when you bring up these what we're calling flaws in Bitcoin and compare them to Monero, do their eyes glaze over, or do they get it?
Okay, so let me back up. People around me are into equity, they might be into fixed income, but they're not in crypto the way I am, or the way all of us are. So, and they haven't looked into it. They hear about Bitcoin because now Bitcoin's going into the mainstream. You put on the Wall Street Journal, you open any business sort of publication, and you'll start seeing stories about Bitcoin. So they're hearing about it, and I think it's coming. So people ask me, and they're like, so what's going on with Bitcoin? Like, oh, it's 55,000 and it's this. And I'm like, it's yeah, and then we talk about it, and then I steer them slowly towards Monero, and try and explain to them what Bitcoin is, because people don't know. They don't understand what Bitcoin is in and of its own. So they don't understand where it derives its value. But we know Bitcoin is a solid protocol. It's a solid technology. It's been working seamlessly since it was created back in 2009 Jan, I think. So it's got a beautiful, stellar track record, and there is a purpose it solves. Except people around me, they're like, no, it's just a speculative. They look at Bitcoin as a huge speculation, and they're like, it's a speculative asset, and they reject it. So I think there's some sort of understanding. There's a few people, and they don't talk about it openly, but there's a few people who are investing in Bitcoin around me, like just like I'm saying, like last 2 or 3 months. But in general, I think the consensus is it's a really, really volatile, speculative asset that we're not comfortable going close to. So but then I have people that I talk to on a closer level, sort of outside of work, and we've sat down for hours discussing Bitcoin and Monero, and I explained to them why Monero is going to be in terms of cryptocurrency, because you cannot even call Bitcoin a cryptocurrency today because the currency functions have been sort of disabled, and it's a pity. It makes me sad to think that that's how it's going, but it is, and it makes sense too, because it's transparent. It's not going to do what Monero can do. And so when I explain to people, I try and explain to them, look, this is Bitcoin. This is why it's important in the world we live in, where currency is being debased at a breakneck speed, and all of our savings are getting destroyed every single day. But Monero basically kind of comes to the next level, where you're actually going to be able to have all of the benefits of Bitcoin with additional benefits, and these are, this is what it is. So yeah, but it's a very raw thing right now. People don't really understand it in general.
Where do you see it going? I mean, do you think Monero is kind of go through a dark ages where it's going to be shunned, or do you think we're going to start to see wider adoption as people realize that Monero is what crypto is supposed to be? I mean, I feel like, we're at this fork in the road. You have Bitcoin obviously taking off, going through the roof, going completely mainstream, but it's also being co-opted in a lot of ways. Michael Saylor, like those points you brought up, basically being proud of the fact that, Bitcoin is just the store of value. It's not meant to take over fiat. It's not meant to be private and anonymous. Almost proudly talking about its flaws. So do you think that will lead to people naturally realizing, wait a minute, it is flawed, or there's going to be this dark ages where people falsely believe that is okay, and maybe that's what crypto is supposed to be? I'm just curious if you're thinking about those things and where you see it headed.
Yeah, so I think there's going to be two kinds of people. There's going to be one group that is comfortable and actually looking forward to Bitcoin getting as regulated as possible, so that their risk is reduced as they go into it. Example, you're going to see institutions that wouldn't normally go close to Bitcoin will come in, and they, how the CEO Kathy Woods, I think, of ARK Invest, she's actually saying Bitcoin's going to be part of every institution's treasury at a 2-3% allocation. So when we see things like that, and when we see these large corporations, Tesla and even MicroStrategy and others going in, you start to see that there's obviously a use case as a store of value, and if the world continues the way it is, if the Fed continues printing nonstop like it is, then it makes a lot of sense. Companies traditionally don't go into gold and silver, right? how are they going to hedge that inflation risk, which is becoming more and more of a, not a possibility, it's actually a likelihood, right? So it's coming, everybody knows it. So what are you going to do? Well, you have to, and so getting into Bitcoin, it's a digital asset, and it's when people start to look at it, it's going to start making sense. People in the sense institutions. So on one hand, you have the people, and I'm talking, when I say people, I'm mainly referring to institutions that organizations, companies with large, cash balances and treasuries that are going to be like, yeah, this makes sense for us. We're going to do a 2, 3, 4% allocation or a 1% allocation to Bitcoin. On the other hand, I think there's going to be individuals like you and me that are also probably going to be attracted to the regulated, the asset. But then there's going to be others that are not so attracted to the regulated asset, because with regulation comes in a lot of other unwanted sort of hassles that you have to deal with. Me personally, I'm not attracted to such a highly regulated asset, to be honest. So I see two groups of people. I see the group of people, and I know personally a lot of people in my circle, and institutions also, or people working in institutions that will be like, oh, okay, all this regulation's coming in, all of these laws, so they have to do it this way, and they have to declare this, and it goes in the, the IFRS is ready for it, and the US GAAP and everything. So then they kind of have less and less uncertainty around this. They're not seeing it as like a ticking bomb, which they refer to Bitcoin as a ticking time bomb right now, a lot of people. I think it's going to go more into that sort of conservative side, where it's just like, it just becomes like a natural allocation that you make as a portfolio, in a portfolio. But for people, for everyday people, I think I think that we're going to start seeing people coming into Monero as they realize that they want to transact privately, that transacting privately is not a crime. So that's the thing. I think the Dr. Daniel Kim and others who so elegantly explain Monero to people, I think we need to see more of that, because it's a Bitcoin that I send out in a transaction. If that Bitcoin is used for something that's, considered even slightly illegal or borderline illegal or not desirable by somebody who holds it after I let go of it, then they can trace it back to me and say, you held this Bitcoin before X, who then used it, I don't know, to buy something on the dark web. That's not legal. So the fact that something that can pass through you and that can then taint you as a person and your reputation, I think just makes a use case for a currency like Monero, because then you kind of understand that Monero protects people who have nothing to hide. It's for people who have, really, they're just everyday people trying to go about their lives, and they want to transact privately. You don't need eyes on your transactions all the time. It's like cash. So yeah.
Yeah, totally agree more. Do you think we'll see a Michael Saylor of Monero at any time? Will that ever happen?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't see it. I think Monero is such a grassroots type movement. I like the fact that the developers and the team is more sort of quiet, working out of the shadows. And I like that we crowdfund the improvements, the development in the protocol. I think I don't see Monero going the way of Bitcoin, as in, corporate adoption and all of that. I see Monero going more on a grassroots level, where I see, like, emerging countries in Africa. There's going to be so much destabilization in the world that'll happen. That's already happening right now, and that will continue happening with all of this that's going on. I mean, whatever's going on right now with all of the currency debasement and the money printing, we're going to start feeling the effects in the next 2 to 3, 4, 5 years. It's going to get a lot worse than it is today, right? We're just at the root, like we're at the start of this process. It's going to destabilize countries. It's this. I hate to sound so pessimistic, but it's not going to go in a good direction. Like whatever the Fed is doing and whatever the ECB and all of these central banks around the world, they're not going in the right direction. So, and we know that. The effects of that will show up. And once they do, we're going to start seeing people wanting to transact, not just hold, store value. We're going to start seeing people wanting to transact and have a currency that they can call theirs. That's, money of the people. And there's nothing, I don't see why that's even controversial, Yes, it takes some power away from governments and those who are issuing the fiat, but we always knew that the internet was going to have its own currency, right? That there was going to be digital currency. Now, which one comes out? I think the market will decide. It'll be time.
Oh, breaking up a little bit. Did we lose
We
you?
lost you. Oh, hello?
Wait further. Irving brings up a good point. Sailors bringing people into crypto. It doesn't matter right now if it's just BTC. As more understand BTC, the number of potential Monero adopters will grow. A slow process, people are learning. Yeah, definitely agree with that. I mean, Bitcoin's growth is good for Monero.
Yes.
Onboarding people to crypto. Oh, we got you back. Nice. And now, especially with the advent of Bitcoin to Monero atomic swaps, Sean brought that up. Very good point. So that was tested this week. They actually launched kind of the MVP testnet version of it. Anybody, Sean, you want to jump on? Has anybody actually tried it? I would love to hear from somebody more technical. Now, are you familiar with the Monero or Bitcoin to Monero atomic swaps?
Yeah, I've been looking into it. So there's two things. I'm not a technical person, but the way I understand it is this. I've historically, since I got into crypto, which was last year, I've been using Exodus wallet a lot. I'm sorry, Vic. I use Cake now, but I've been using Exodus as well. I'll get more into Cake now.
Perfect time. Hold on a second. This is a perfect segue.
Yeah, I know.
Sponsored
by Cake Wallet. It's the first.
Yes, sponsored by Cake Wallet, our dear friend.
Our dear friend.
But so what Exodus lets you do, at least, I'm more familiar with it. I'm going to get more familiar with Cake, I promise. But it lets me swap between currencies, So like I used to have a lot of Chainlink, for example. I got rid of it. I exchanged it for Monero. I literally I pressed the exchange button on my wallet. So I don't take it to an exchange. It's just sitting in my wallet. It's all in my sort of, possession. And then I swap it. So, but what I understand atomic swaps doing differently is you're doing a person-to-person, a P2P transfer exchange swap.
Sorry to interrupt for 1 second. When you say you exchange, because I never used Exodus, is it just an exchange that you're using on Exodus, or?
Yeah, so Exodus has a so Exodus outsources the exchange or the swap function to a centralized exchange that they're linked up, they're tied up with. But with atomic swaps,
Cake has that too. Cake has the ability to exchange in the wallet.
Yes, I understand Cake has that. I haven't used it on Cake, but I've been using it on this one. But I'm going to use it on Cake, I promise.
Thank you, heard it here.
We got you one customer.
Yeah,
But I guess what you're saying is you're looking forward to the day it can be atomically swapped in these wallets.
So what I understood is the difference between these wallets, what they're currently doing, swapping, between coins, and an atomic swap is you're not going through a centralized exchange. You're directly, like a P2P, like a DEX, exchanging with another person. Yeah. I'm not sure how that would work though, but interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the ultimate ideal solution, completely decentralized, no trusted third party, just peer to peer. If you have Bitcoin, I have Monero, we can trade them and without needing a trusted third party to be the middleman of the exchange. So no middleman required. Pretty amazing. It's amazing that we're actually seeing progress so fast where they have a testnet version up. Yeah, anybody that's
we have
played around with it, jump on and let us know. Who do we have on?
Well, first we had Jack before Sean. Jack, you want to introduce yourself? I know you've been sitting in there for a bit. Yes, no, maybe
Jack,
so.
you hear us?
Jack?
Hey guys, I'm just gonna pop in some earbuds and I'll be on. Just give me 1 second.
Okay, cool.
All right.
And then we have
Sean. Hey, Sean, you want to say hello?
Oh, good morning, everyone. I'm glad I finally got to. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. It's very early morning.
You need some gratuitous coffee. Let us know.
Oh, yes.
Send you some next time.
Oh, I'm getting that.
So, Sean, do you have anything you could tell us on a technical level of what we've seen in the development between, for the XMR or BTC to XMR swaps?
Oh, yes. I'm really excited about that. In fact, I'm trying to do what I can to get involved in that development right now. What's been worked on and is proven to work is the actual atomic swap bridge itself. You can go back and forth between XMR and BTC, between any two parties. The current development now, however, is because this is complicated. There needs to be some form of market-making process where you can link up the two separate people. Because you have to have someone who has XMR and wants BTC, and likewise, BTC looking for XMR. There has to be some way you can connect two people. One of the ideal situations you want to have is to be able to preserve anonymity between the two people swapping. Because, it's the whole point of Monero in the first place. So that's not an easy thing to do. And a lot of development now is to make it a completely automated process where you can have two people who declare their interests, they wish to swap for something, and then have them link up. There's just a recent test that went live. Well, it was in testnet. It was just to see like a proof of concept. And there were just some minor technical difficulties, which that's why we're testing it. But it worked for about a third of the people. Unfortunately, mine wasn't working because of an odd little bug. But next should be out soon, maybe next week, maybe a little bit later. And we're going to have a second round of testing go on. And if anybody's interested and you have the ability to get testnet Bitcoin, then please join the whole process. It's actually pretty straightforward and easy to do once you read the documentation.
Yeah, and I think that's what Nam was getting at, just like how it would actually work in a wallet. Any further insight? I think the developers even, made a call out to the community saying they were looking for wallets that would like to start working on this problem of building the marketplace. Any insight into what that would even look like?
Oh, yeah.
Idea of bringing people together in an anonymous fashion where they can then use atomic swaps to trade between each other, between Bitcoin and Monero. What would that look like in a wallet like Cake or whatever?
Well, there's different ways you can create this market making. One of the ideals would be to have something similar to like how DeFi works right now, and Ethereum one is that you have an AMM or something on those lines. It's inherently you can have something centralized, say like a book order that you do in a normal exchange. An exchange could be the semi-trusted third party in this case. That's probably the first thing that's going to happen. The existing places that have, say, existing, they probably offer all the infrastructure necessary for this for a small fee, probably less than the current fees they have. And you would just, like XMR2 or some of the other exchanges, you just plug those right into your wallet software. And then that swap happens through the middleware system, completely independent of the wallet itself. So we'll probably see that pretty quickly. It is possible to create a completely automated market making system, like how DeFi works. That's to be determined, though, because you need certain technologies, like is only available on Ethereum, to make that happen. That might be like 2 years away.
Okay.
So if that did get implemented, that would be another package you could kind of add right into your wallets. I think that as we've seen with some of the exchanges that do support the current centralized way of swapping, they're likely going to have the services. It'll be in the interest of the services, XMR2 or whatever, any of the exchanges, to go to the wallets themselves and say, here's this API, go ahead and implement this. But there might be some wallets themselves who want to be much more proactive and work with the exchanges directly to do that. So it's kind of up to everybody to get that done.
Yeah, obviously, I think the first wallet that adds this, people are going to get excited about it. They're going to want to use that wallet, test it out. You bring up another one in regards to DeFi. I saw there was a post on Reddit today, so not related to atomic swaps, but basically people talking about wrapped XMR. I keep hearing people talk about that, and people saying they want to see new wrapped. I thought there was a wrapped XMR that was launched. Do you have any insight into that? Anything you can explain about that? Exactly what that is, why people are looking for that? I know it's part of this whole DeFi craze. Sean,
well, yeah, there's a term called a synthetic coin, a token that represents another token. And since tokens work really well in Ethereum, they do have wrappers in theory for any other token. But this is taking something that's inherently decentralized, the whole decentralized finance, DeFi, and it's adding onto it like an entire centralized system. So it's kind of like it's CDeFi, as people would call it, centralized, decentralized finance. The tokens themselves are just non-fungible tokens, or there's some tokens that represent something that somebody else might promise you in the future. So there exists, I think it's called WXMR, which means it's a wrapped XMR version. There's some services that will promise you that if you have a WXMR token, they will at some point exchange it for an XMR. But you can't guarantee that, and it's entirely up to you trusting that third party to go and fulfill their promise.
So people are looking for a more decentralized version, something that's wrapped. I see people calling for something that's wrapped with, I guess, Ethereum.
Well, yeah. One of the theories is that basically the entire point of DeFi is to get rid of the gatekeepers and trusted third parties. If two parties want to interact, you shouldn't have the necessity to have some other huge system that decides how your transaction occurs. And that's what DeFi is. If you have a wrapped coin, you're automatically requiring the trust of some other party. Whereas if you're able to do, say, an atomic swap like this that we're creating for the XMR and BTC bridge, you wouldn't have to have anybody else as a trusted party. You just have to have some way to communicate back and forth and find each other. It's theoretically possible on some of the extensions to Ethereum, like Ethereum 2, to create a process where you can have an atomic swap like this occur. And then you could have, in theory, all the DeFi stuff that occurs right now on Ethereum occur with other chains. So you could have any arbitrary swap between any particular coin back, but that's still in the future, maybe a couple years away, and it would take a lot of work too. But the atomic swap has to exist first and foremost before you can have, say, Ethereum 2 be the process by which that becomes completely automated.
Awesome. Great explanation. So we have about 30 people watching now. If you're watching, spread the word a little bit. We want to get the numbers up so we can make the prize larger. We're going to do our game show. The more people that are watching, the larger the prize. If you could spread the word a little bit, we'll do the game soon. Let's say maybe in 2 to 5 minutes here. So spread the word. Let's get the number up a little bit, and then we'll do our game show. Who else is on the stage?
We have
anybody else that wants to talk?
Oh, Jack hasn't spoken.
Jack, did you get your earpods?
Yeah, I'm just hopping in the car. 1 second, sorry.
Okay.
I'll be with you right now. Right.
All right.
Sorry,
All right,
guys.
hello.
Have you got me?
You're live.
I know you're live on Monerotopia. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry, I'm working, and I wanted to tune in live, but I don't have YouTube Premium anymore. So I thought I'd sneak the system and watch on Jitsi, and it's worked.
You can only watch live. You can't watch live on YouTube without Premium.
No. So the problem I have is, whilst I'm working, I'm using my iPhone to deliver my parcels, so I can run Jitsi in the background.
Gotcha.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. Basically, I'm I've just
All right, well,
started to find you guys maybe over the last couple of weeks, maybe 3-4 weeks.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. So what's your Monero story? Or
So I won like in the UK now at the moment they have a lot of competitions that you find on Facebook. I don't know if you have the same there in the US, but you know pay £1 for a ticket, you win £500. Sorry, I'm going to talk in currency in the UK currency. So I won £500, and the wife is like, "What are you going to do with it?" I said, "Well, I'm going to buy some Bitcoin." So this is around July last year, and Bitcoin was about £7,000, so maybe $12,000, something like that, maybe less, maybe 10,000. So I bought some Bitcoin on the exchange was crypto.com, and I just had endless trouble buying because I bought the Bitcoin, which was great. And then following that, I've seen loads of other different currencies. So I buy a bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of that. And before you know it, I lost like a lot of money. And then I basically seen a post, it must have been on Twitter, which said if you don't own your keys, it was something like if you don't own your keys,
yeah, not
do
your
you
not
really even own it?
not your crypto or not your Bitcoin. Yeah, you got to
Exactly.
hold those keys.
So I look into that, and I tried to move my money that I had on crypto.com over to a wallet, which was a nightmare because you got stung with Bitcoin fees. So from there, I just found Monero through mainly the Dollar Vigilante. Well, mainly from Jeff Berwick, mentioning it at $70, $80. And from there, I just went and bought some more.
Awesome. So, are you intrigued by the fact that Monero, it can be used anonymously and you can't trace transactions? Is that something that interests you in it?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, my Monero holding, because in the UK is a bit different. We don't have a lot of savings. We live to whatever we earn, we tend to spend. So even if you earn 2,000, you're guaranteed to be spending 1,900. You can only put away such a small amount because the cost of living for everything is ridiculous. So I only hold a small amount of Monero. I'm talking less than $2,000. But I love the properties that Monero have. So I have maybe 90% Monero. I have 5% Bitcoin. And I bought some Doge before Elon started tweeting about it.
Okay. So it sounds
But
like you're
yeah,
on the right track. When you said you lost crypto, it was because I didn't realize it was because you were trading, or you actually physically lost the crypto.
oh yeah, sorry. So I'd lost money. I lost value on because you can trade in the app on crypto.com
Okay.
via iOS, and you see this coin doing great. So you're like, oh, I'll buy that, and then the hype dies off, and then from there it goes down again. But I want to. I think it was your interview. Oh no, there was a new podcast starting with. It's called Why Monero. Sorry to ruin your show and plug that. It's not a plug. I've seen it because I'm always trying to follow Monero news. So I'm a bit out of breath because I've been running around delivering as well. I'm in between drops for my job.
Okay.
But and I heard them talking with Vic about a Fiat on ramp to buy Monero from Fiat, and that in the UK I think is going to be the best thing to happen for everybody here, because my struggle of buying Monero was when I first bought Monero, my bank stopped all of my cards on fraud. I ring them up. I say it's not fraud. I did want to make that transaction because I was using localmonero.com or .co, whatever it is. You find somebody local in your area
Local
selling it.
Monero, yep.
And every time I tried to make a transaction on there, it would get stopped for fraud. So I ring the bank, I say it's not fraud, I want to make a purchase. So they say, well, we can't authorize it. So then I try another card, and the next bank is the same. So I'm hoping maybe with Cake Wallet when they bring that in, because I was paying, nearly 20% over the price of Monero just to get some,
Yeah.
which wasn't a problem because when I was buying it was around $130, and now I think is $200 for you guys?
Yeah, over 200.
Because
I think
I'm doing the
Oh no, I don't know. Maybe it went down.
yeah. Because when I'm buying in pounds, and then trying to translate to dollars in my head, which would be far off. But yes, I love your show.
Awesome,
Sorry.
man. Well, I think you're on the right track. I'd stay away from the trading, but do what you got to do. But I think you're on the right track with trying to actually understand which of these cryptos are the most valuable and will likely be the most valuable in the future, and just try to accumulate. I'd say particularly
Definitely.
Monero. This is not investment advice, but keep watching this show, do further research, and try to pick the crypto that you think will gain adoption in the future, actually be used as digital cash. And if it's going to become that, it's going to have to be worth a lot more than it is today to actually, onboard a global population using it as digital cash. So we'd love to have you as one of the contestants on the show. I think you'd be a perfect contestant. You want to be one of our contestant chance at winning Monero? We have 35 people watching now.
Yep.
So we'll round it up to, we'll give away $40 worth of Monero. So you'll be our contestant. And who else we got? Is there?
We have that first fellow Monerista.
Are they present?
Nam and Sean.
He is still present, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, let's get
Nam, do you want to play?
Yeah, sure.
All right, awesome.
Well, I think we got to do. Actually, we're just going to do 2 people for this one.
Yeah. I think I can pass out on that one.
Because we're gonna do. We're not going to do the Price is Right theme. We're going to do the golden Monero balls is what we're calling it. Golden Monero balls. This is after a British show. What's his name? Jack?
Jack.
Jack, are you familiar with that show?
Yeah, so I think it only aired for a couple of years, but it was good. There was a lot of people that would try and steal at the end, and then they end up with nothing because they're both greedy. Maybe it's a sign of the people here in the UK, they'd rather steal because they both steal, they get nothing, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So we use that show and that theme because Daniel Kim, I don't know if you're familiar with who he is. If not, highly recommend you do some Googling, find his videos. He explains Monero very well. But in his most recent talk, he was using that show as an analogy to talk about the game theory behind what would happen if, countries were to try to potentially regulate or make Monero illegal. The idea being that it's kind of a prisoner's dilemma problem, and you would have countries that would want to take advantage of the fact that if they allowed Monero to flourish, they'd benefit from that by getting all the people that are already into Monero to be essentially more interested in potentially moving to that country, or the mind share moving over to that country. So it was a good point that he used, and he used this as his analogy. So we're gonna go ahead and do the show. So basically, we're gonna give away $40 worth.
Yeah, right now. Yep, we got 35.
You guys are our 2 contestants, so we're gonna ask you guys.
I'm gonna private chat you guys.
Oh yeah, set up a private chat. And we're going to ask you guys to now publicly discuss whether or not you want to split the prize, or if one of you is going to try to steal it. So why don't you guys talk
in the Jitsi
for
chat,
10 seconds in the Jitsi chat.
Oh wait, Jack, you're
is Jack muted?
Yeah, no, he's not muted, but you sent it to the general chat.
Oh yeah. Set up a private one, because then we're going to ask you to privately then message us, DM us, and tell us whether or not you're stealing the prize or splitting the prize. So first, publicly discuss it.
And then Nam use Jitsi.
Nam disappeared.
Yeah, Nam disappeared.
So am I playing this? Am I doing this?
Yes, you're playing.
No, you're playing with Jack.
Okay.
So Nam and Jack, just a quick 10-second, 30-second discussion. Are you guys intending on sharing the prize?
Do you see my private chat, Nam?
No, I'm looking for it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Jitsi on the left bottom corner. There's like a little chat box thing.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Now, every time you've done this game, everybody always ends up sharing it, which I guess is a testament to the Monero community. Everybody's so close in the Monero community. But hey, maybe this is the first time we'll have a steal. So, what are you guys intending on doing? What's your public disclosure on this?
See,
may or may not match the secret disclosure.
I have a very trusting face, of course. So my plan is to split, and hopefully, I don't know what the delivery cost is to get some of your coffee delivered to the UK. It's probably extortionate. So maybe I'll just buy some of my own beans instead here for gratuitous. But I'm planning on splitting for the sake of not appearing like an idiot on TV, on live YouTube, that is.
Okay.
So I actually feel bad that you lost your coins trying to move them from crypto.com to your wallet. So I'll just give it away. I'm happy to do it. Is that one of the options?
Wow, you're going beyond.
You're going beyond. Wow.
The Monero community, this game just doesn't work in the Monero community. Everybody is.
I know the chat said.
Community's too close.
I just felt bad.
Are aligned in Monero for building digital cash. We've all aligned. So let's say now you guys could DM us what you're really thinking. Maybe this is just a very crafty way of Nam to then steal without both of you saying steal. Because remember, if you both say steal, then nobody gets the prize. So now DM,
so there's two options: steal and share.
Steal and share. Yeah. So if you both say share, you share it. If one says steal and one says share, the person who says steal gets the entire prize. But if you both say steal, then nobody gets the prize. So go ahead and
I've kind of ruined the...
They both private messaged me already.
They both
Drum roll.
Drum roll. Oh, wow, this is real.
This is intense.
This may be our best one yet. Share and share. Okay,
wow,
guys.
You're such giving people.
But that's...
Thank you.
Alrighty.
We got to add.
Yeah, that was fun.
To this show where people actually start to steal. What do you think we can do to it so we encourage some stealing here?
I think it would be difficult for you to get people in the Monero community to, even though we're pictured, I got to say, I've watched maybe 100 plus hours in the last month of just Monero content from you guys to anything with Monero I've been watching, because I deliver parcels for a living. I have a lot of time I can listen to things. So Monero is pictured as, we're the bad guys. When you get down to it, every person that I see on a forum or on a chat is, they're sharing, they want to help each other. So I don't think this game is going to work too much going forward unless...
Yeah. Doug, you need to pick another game. You're not going to get people stealing on this game. I don't think so. I agree with them.
Maybe it's doing its job in that respect then, right? It's displaying the kind community.
Yes. So yeah, just email me your payment address to Monero Talk Live. I don't know if you saw the chat. And then
send us your address. We'll send you.
Email it to us.
We do deliver gratuitous abroad, by the way. We've had a few orders from Europe.
Oh, you do?
No pressure though. No pressure. You don't have to use your prize for that. I think that's it for this morning. It was a good morning.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to bring up before we kill the feed?
I just want to say thank you to you guys for the time that you must put into the podcast. It must be quite time consuming arranging the interviews and things.
Thank you. We really appreciate that.
And I'm thinking of when the Cake Wallet get the feature for the fiat on ramp. I want to see how that works. Try it for myself, and I'm trying to share the information around. I wanted to start a podcast, but it's going to be far too much work. I'll let the hard work go to you guys.
Well, I encourage you to do it. Start small. The trick is being consistent, which is the hard part. So if you start, keep it up. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Start small. Don't try to craft a perfect show. Just go. Put it out there.
This is the plan. I'm gonna buy. I've ordered maybe 500 Monero stickers with Twitter that I'm starting. Is going to be Monero UK. Hopefully to try and get some more. Because I look in the forums and I don't see many people from the UK talking about Monero. And in the future, it's got to be the day-to-day transactions that I'm going to give £100 to my friend or something like this. Nobody needs to know what it's for. It doesn't have to be illicit. It's just here's £100, like you would give them cash because cash is disappearing.
Oh man, I have a mission for you over there. So do you live next to Peter McCormick? What town does he live in? You should go blanket his town with Monero stickers.
I'll accept your challenge. Like I said, I have 500.
He's from a small town.
Yeah. I have the name of his town on the tip of my tongue. I just can't remember.
So let's do this. I will help fund you. I will give you money for the Monero sticker. We'll send you the Monero
I'll do
sticker.
that too.
Yes, I have a 500. So if you can tell me his car as well.
Oh my goodness.
Does anybody know what his town is, where he's from in the chat? Peter McCormick? Did you watch our Peter McCormick interview?
Oh, I loved it. And the fact that it was left that he's going to come back with somebody. And I think he will find it very difficult to defend what he was trying to say, even if he brings a developer or somebody more technical.
I think he's since given up on that deal. Maybe Bedford. All right. Yeah. I don't know if you're anywhere near Bedford.
I'm about 4 hours away.
Oh man, that would be quite the mission.
You never know. Depends.
Well, you let us know, and if you don't do the podcast, maybe at least join us on Monerotopia again. Anytime we go live, please jump back on. I'd love to have you back on the stage.
Yeah, thank you for having me, guys. And I'll get back. I'll send you an address shortly.
All right. Thanks to everybody joining this morning.
Thanks for having us.
No, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for waking up early to do this.
Of course.
Yes.
Now we're perked up.
We're all perked up. We'll probably try a morning session again. Hopefully next time. I think next show we will be in Guatemala. We'll probably do this from Guatemala.
Yeah, we will. And again, if anyone's interested in helping us out with the gratuitous flyer, basic flyer, we'd really appreciate it. Just reach out to us at monerotalklive@gmail.com.
Yeah, anybody that wants to help. The other thought too is anybody that has ideas for other products. We're looking at other products. So anybody that lives in a country where you think there's some good product that would fit for gratuitous, we're looking for products that has a lot of labor behind it, where often people aren't being paid their fair share given how much the product is often sold for. So coffee is obviously a perfect thing. Things like tea, maybe even, I don't know, nuts and
tea.
Yeah, tea. I mean, it could be anything. But if you live in a country where you think there's some good product and you have a means of getting us in touch with the producer and, the farmers that are behind it, reach out. Definitely reach out, no matter where you are in the world. That'd be amazing. Yep. All right, guys.
All right.
Thanks again. Thanks again, Nam.
Cheerio. Yeah, thanks so much,
Thank
Nam.
you.
Cheers. Everybody have a good
You guys have a great day.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Bye, guys. Until next time. Bye-bye.